Hi, I'm David Council from Inferno Marketing and Design, and welcome to another Insider Marketing Secret. Today we're going to have a look at the Insider Marketing Secret to the psychology of social media messages. Yeah, now that sounds a bit highfalutin, but it is a basic thing that you need to get under control to make sure your social media messages are reaching the right people. Before we do that, I need a favour. If I could ask you to share this post. That's right, I don't want you to keep it to yourself. I want you to share it with your friends. If you know someone who could use some help with their advertising and marketing, maybe if they could just need a little pointing in the right direction, then please share this free podcast with them. You know, there are two ways that people listen to the podcast. First is by subscribing to it on our website. Just fill in the information and we'll email it to you every week. If that makes you a little nervous, some people get nervous about giving away an email address, then there's another thing that you can do and also receive it absolutely free. All you've got to do is go to the iTunes store, put in Insider Marketing Secrets, you'll see it, subscribe to the feed, and every week you'll get it sent direct to your device so that you can watch the video, listen to it if you like, at your own leisure. Okay, let's get into the Insider Marketing Secret on the psychology of social media messages. Now, if you're struggling to create social media engagement, you are going to need some tips to get this happening for you. And this is the right place to do that. To get more social media engagement, you need to tailor your content to appeal to your audience on an emotional level. Now, remember, when I say audience, you think customers. That's who we're really talking about here. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you're using images that speak to your customers. That is rule number one. If you take nothing else away from this, then make sure you start using some great images that speak to your customers. You see, your image is your first call to action in any social media post. It's the great big flashing light that people see when they get to that part of the feed. And it doesn't matter what sort of social media we're talking about here, that's the way that they see you. Now, it's no secret, I do prefer people to use video, but if video is beyond you, then make sure you're using great still images. It's really important to choose an image that expresses what you're trying to say in that particular post. Try not to use something generic. Use something that actually means something to your business, that attracts people in. What you're trying to do is engage with people on a purely emotional level. So if you can use an image that portrays the beauty of what it is that you do, and don't get me wrong, not everybody has a beautiful vista in which to take for their particular business. If you're a motorcycle shop, think about the things that people really covet. You know, people who like motorcycles love the bikes. They love everything about them. They like the curve of the handlebar. They like the patterns on the helmet. You know, that is beauty for your customer. So don't think, when I say beauty, don't think, curvy babes or, beautiful scenery. Think the beauty of what it is that you're doing. You're looking at it every day, but sometimes because you get to see it every day, you become blind to it. What you want, though, is an image that's going to allow you to stand out from the crowd. And that standing out from the crowd is achieved by focusing your message onto something that immediately talks to your customer. The next thing is color. Color talks. It communicates with your customers. Brands that make the best color choices are the brands that get the most engagement on social media. So before you start sharing content on social media, choose a color that's synonymous with your brand. For example, to use the motorcycle example again, Yamaha always uses blue. Honda always uses red. In fact, red and white, they're the Honda colors. So think about your business. What are the colors? If you're running a Mitre 10 store, Mitre 10 has a livery of colors. If you're in a business that's not part of a chain, then think about colors. You would have colors in your logo. So which colors really speak to your customers? They're the ones to use. You're trying to use them once again to allow you to stand out from the crowd. And then when you've selected that color, make sure you use it consistently for your brand. Use it everywhere so that people start to associate that color with you. For example, the color that Cadbury uses for their chocolate, that purple, that's their color. They've actually trademarked it. No one else can use that particular color purple. Now, If you're in small business, you're not going to go that far, but you can take a colour and use it over and over again so people start to make that association. The next thing to consider are the words. After you've created your first call to action with an image, it's time to focus on the description, the words that go with that post. The law of attraction states that like attracts like. So start your description in your post with words that you know people want or like to hear that are associated with your business. You're hearing them say it every day. All you're really doing here is holding an audio mirror back up to them so that they're starting to hear those words back. They read them in your post, they're getting that back and they're going, oh, look, that's me. I identify with exactly those words. Those words will spark an emotional response and grab your customer's attention. The next thing to consider is that emotions connect. Connecting with readers on that emotional level, especially when it's something happy that can impact on your social media posts, that is just vitally important. After all, you're trying to evoke an emotional response. Most purchases are made at an emotional level first. So you want to get that emotional response going. You want them to make an emotional connection with your business. If they're not making that emotional connection, then you're just one of a few people that they will go to buy your product or service. You haven't locked them in. They are not truly a raving fan of your business. And remember, the emotional response that you don't want to achieve is boredom. Yeah, see, boredom, that's an emotional response. If your posts aren't cutting through in the right way and the emotion that you're activating is boredom, then you shouldn't have put that post up. Think about that next time. To make the most of an emotional connection with your customers, you really want to portray a friendly, happy brand, one that's helpful, one that's generous, one that is part of their tribe. So make sure you're making that lock in when it comes to the emotional level of any post that you're putting forward. Final thing that your post needs to do is start a conversation. Conversations engage people. Now, this is genuinely the hardest thing to do. It's the thing that everybody wants. They want to put a post up, have their customers comment on it, and start a conversation so that they can start interacting with their customers backwards and forwards. So think about what is the topic of that post. Asking a question is genuinely a great way to start a conversation. But if you post a question and you don't get a reply, you're asking the wrong questions. People don't care. They're thinking that maybe you're trying to sell them something. You don't want to do that. Avoid that at all costs. What you want to do is ask a question that's allowing you to engage as a relationship, not as a salesperson. The other benefit, of course, when starting a conversation is that you're finding out what your customers need and want. And that helps you frame your entire buying cycle so that your conversations are surrounded by things that satisfy the demands of your customers. After all, we're all in business to solve problems for our customers. By solving their problems, they make purchases. So you want to be solving their problems. Think about it when people come into your shop. What questions are they asking? What problems are they presenting? How do you solve those problems? Well, that's a post. You could say, customer came in and asked this question. Do you have that problem as well? Question, there you go. And you're away. And the most important thing about conversation is to remember that people want recognition. So if someone does post a reply, make sure you reply to that post. You want to have a conversation. You want to recognize them. You want them to feel like they are your best friend. Otherwise, the only sort of conversations you're going to have on social media are the ones that no one wants to have, where someone is complaining. So get on the front foot, start sparking positive relationships and conversations through your social media. So there you go. That's the insider marketing secret to the psychology of social media messages. Ask yourself, have you been doing that with your social media posts? If you need some help, then please give us a call. We'd love to have a chat with you about it. Or for that matter, send us an email and we'll give you a call. Until we talk, I'm David Council from Inferno Marketing and Design, and I look forward to talking to you in the very near future about some more insider marketing secrets.